Hello everyone! So today we're going to be taking a look at these old German textbooks that I found at a thrift shop. I am not currently studying German. I would like to in the future, but I do like kind of collecting language textbooks. I know that sounds really odd, but there's so many languages that I'm interested in, and I'll go to thrift shops, you know, like Goodwill or yard sales or something, and I will see textbooks and I think, oh, that might be useful someday when I start studying this language, and then I buy them. So that's what brings us here. Both of these are fairly old. They're not ancient, they're from like the 1950s and 60s. But they are old enough to have those old crinkly pages in them. So let's put this one aside and we'll start with this textbook. This one is a bit battered, as you can see. There's tape here, tape here. And it has been written on. That sounds pretty nice, actually. Alright, let's open this up and see what we got. I think there's a map in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so here we have the map, and it would be quite outdated now, from the 1960s. Here we have our introduction. And then we have like several pages of color pictures. And this is our table of contents. I just clipped my fingernails, so the tapping isn't particularly good today. So it starts off with some exercises here, I guess. I saw a page earlier as I was flipping through this that caught my eye, and I want to see if I can find it again. Now, like I said, I am not. Oh, this is the regular lessons, so I guess this was all, like, review or beginner stuff. I don't know. Anyways, this is the beginning of the regular lessons, apparently. I think I was saying something before that caught my eye, and now I don't remember what it was. So, I'll find out when I go back and edit this. It's time to read these in German. I know some of the numbers in German, that's about it. Here's some music. This is scattered throughout the textbook. I noticed several pages as I was flipping through here, which I thought was interesting. Here's some more music. Here's the page I was looking at earlier. Carl is stupid. Alright then. They have O Tannenbaum in here. Probably not saying that correctly, but is this lesson on Christmas or something? That looks like July and June. I'm gonna guess this chapter is about like the seasons, probably. So we have O Tannenbaum and Silent Night. I believe that both of these, ooh, pretty letters. I believe that both of these books are beginner textbooks. And here we have our vocabulary. So that was German to English, and this starts the English to German part. That's quite a lot of vocabulary for a beginner textbook, I think. But then again, my Spanish textbook that I started out with had quite a bit of vocabulary in it too, so I guess it's not that unusual to have several pages. I just noticed this. In case of fire, throw this in. I see things have not changed. in the school system since the 1960s. Okay, so that brings us to our second book, which is this very strange green color. This is just a very sad color now, isn't it? This doesn't motivate me to learn. And half of our map is ripped out in this one. You can see where the page is torn. That's nice. It looks like it is also quite an old map. But that would make sense, wouldn't it? 1958. So this one also has introduction for the students. And then we have our table of contents again. Looks like this one has reference grammar in the back. I'm not sure that the last one had that. Maybe I just overlooked it. Pages are a bit more crinkly in this one. Oh, that sounds good. The last one wasn't very crinkly. I like that this one teaches you how to pronounce things. I don't think that was in the last one. If it was, I overlooked it. Of course, I wasn't really trying to read it, just flipping through it. But there's quite a lot here on pronunciation. Still going with pronunciation. Let's see how far this goes. Oh wow, this has like diagrams of how you should position your mouth to make these sounds. Part 1. These are very short lessons, aren't they? That's the first lesson, and here's the second one. On the fourth lesson now, and it looks like we have a short reading passage here. I always liked this when they gave me a little something to read in my Spanish textbooks, because it's usually made for like what you already know, and it makes you feel good about yourself. It's like, oh, look at this, I just read 2 paragraphs, you know? And you feel really good about it, even though you really don't know that much. And they have a little vocabulary review at the end of each lesson, which is really good. This is always really helpful. I know a lot of people don't really like using textbooks as much to learn languages. You know, a lot of people use like apps or whatever and just have different methods of learning languages. But I prefer to learn using a textbook that also has like an audio component to it, because I really need to be able to hear what I'm supposed to be saying, because the pronunciation things usually don't help me very much. So I need to hear it to know how it's supposed to be pronounced usually. But I do like learning from textbooks more than just being thrown into conversation or something. This one is very crinkly. I think this was one I picked up first when I was looking at these books and thinking, oh, maybe I could do a video with these. And it was really crinkly. And this other one wasn't, apparently. So this book is a lot better to just flip through. That is quite the big word. Means 24th. I was just looking through here to see if any of these words reminded me at all of either English or Spanish. And I did notice that this looks a lot like the Spanish word for library. I'm not sure if it's pronounced the same or not, but it's interesting just to flip through here and see what similarities between languages you can see. And this, of course, looks a lot like family in English. Garden is very similar also. So there's a few words here and there that are familiar. And you can see both of these textbooks were from McLouth High School. I have no idea where that is. It's not anywhere that I know of. So I'm not really sure how these books ended up here, but they're mine now, so. I will probably not use these to learn German if I ever choose to do so. I do have some more recent books in my collection. But they are interesting nonetheless. So, there you go. These are my two somewhat old German textbooks.